You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Dance Moms After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Dance Moms After Show.
Yay! Happy New Year!
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. You know what? I don't even want to introduce this show yet because there has been one thing that I have been waiting to sing for months.
Go ahead, G.
Living on the dance floor.
Ooh. You hit them notes. You weren't flat this time. Good job.
I was very flat that time. It's been a while. Clearly, I'm rusty, but I'm so happy to be back. Hey, everybody. It's Giselle Ugarte here. You can always live tweet me at Giselle Ugarte, although I will say my phone is a little on low battery, but we're glad to be back with another season of Dance Moms at AFTERBUZZ TV. This is the second time we've done this show, and you guys loved it so much, always kept us on top. Some of you transferred over to Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition.
Experience.
And some of those people are now hopping on a Dance Moms. I've been getting so many tweets, but before I continue talking about how much I love you guys, I want to introduce my co-hosts.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Jason J. Carter here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tony Moore.
And Chris Canjero is out of the country right now.
Officially,
Officially out of the country.
Legitimately out of the country on a real job.
Yeah.
But he should be back with us next week, hopefully. Although I will say we have a lot of exciting guests this season. We're hoping to have Abby in here by the end of the season, or at least on the phone. We'll see. But tonight we should be having one of our favorite dance moms from Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition, Miss Yvette Waltz.
Yeah.
Oh.
She made a little cameo on tonight's episode.
Oh,
She's already been giving me some exciting details about this episode. We text. We're buddies. We're buds now.
Y'all are friends?
Yo, we're buds.
We're friends. We're
Your
besties.
BFF?
Are you Twads?
I
Twitter
love me
friends?
some
Twitter
Hadleys.
buds? Twad. I just
What
made
is-
that
Yeah.
up. Twad.
Twitter buds,
We're a
for sure.
Twad. Twitter bud. You can make anything into double words.
I want to give some shout outs to our super fans. Like I said, I've been getting lots of tweets. I've been getting emails to my AfterBuzz account, even to my personal account. I don't know how they find my email, but you guys are awesome. To diehard AUDC fan, you changed your Twitter handle. I paid attention. Wanda Steves, Team Dance Moms 8, Jamie Waldorf, and of course, Watchtower Base.
Jamie Waldorf. Yes.
Thank
love
you guys.
her.
And of course, my Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition moms and kids that are still following us. We appreciate you, and you're what makes this show a success. You're the reason why we do this every single week.
Yes.
Without further ado, let's get right into it.
Yeah.
And you may notice that we have a new day. We're here on Tuesdays now at 10 p.m., at least for the time being, not on Wednesdays. So we are taping right after we see the show for the first time. We try to get as much information as we can for you. If there's something that we leave out, if there's something that we're missing, please leave a comment on YouTube, on iTunes, tweet us, so we can make sure to get all of our facts straight, get you the best and most information as possible. So before we talk about episode 2, I want to talk about episode 1,
The premiere.
the premiere.
Mm-hmm.
Allie and Shelly.
Aliens from New Orleans, Louisiana, Southern Bells.
Yeah.
Snooze Fest.
There's
Just
a lot
kidding.
of long distance.
Can
on the show.
we talk about that? First of all, okay, Abby Lee's dance center is in Pittsburgh,
Right.
and then they talk about going to Ohio. I don't know my geography, but maybe is Ohio close to
No.
Pennsylvania? No, right?
But I feel like it's like not that far.
Not-
like
but
it's
hours.
like an hour or a couple of hours.
At least 2 hours, I would think.
right.
We'll give,
But, I mean-
give or take, yeah. But
We-
I mean, that's not far. That's a day
we go to
trip.
Vegas, sure. I mean, Vegas is only far as, but I mean, the new Shelly and the daughter, they're from New Orleans, Louisiana. That's dirty South. That's not close by, and they relocated to Pittsburgh.
But I'm pretty sure that their family's actually in Pittsburgh now.
Maybe they they
And
probably
I know that her
relocated.
mom's a Southern Belle, and she's adjusting. Marissa, if there's at some point during the show, if you could maybe Google and see how far Candy Apple's dance studio is away from Abby Lee dance studio.
Because
Sure. And everyone say hello to Marissa.
Hi, Marissa.
Our
Hiya.
love.
Glad to
She's
have
running
you
the
back.
show today.
But
love
gee,
her. Happy
like,
New Year.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, how is it possible that Abby is competing with this studio that is like at least over 100 some miles away? Do they like teleport there? You know,
It's dedication.
she's like, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I gotta go drive to Ohio to tell off.
It's
Cappy.
dedication. You know, have you guys ever done that? I definitely had a couple studios where I commuted, but the most
No.
I did was maybe an hour, and then of course it's Minnesota, so there's snow, which is like
Right, but not across
hour and
state
a half,
lines.
2 hours, not across state lines
Yeah,
though. But I
no.
mean, if your girls are going to be on television, if they're getting exposed,
Well, yeah, you do what you have to do. I mean, these moms are cray. So I mean,
The furthest when I pretended I was a dancer for a little bit.
right? Me too.
Right. It was about 30 minutes. That
Yeah.
was it.
but these people are like, oh, I gotta
They're
pack a bag. I'll see you. It's Sunday. I'll see you Wednesday.
I got to take a Greyhound bus.
I'm gonna go and spy on what's her face's studio in Ohio.
I'm gonna drop by and say hello. I'm in the area.
Let's talk about them technically though. So let's talk about Allie as a person, as a dancer.
She was. I mean, she was great. She definitely was. They all look the same to me. G. Seriously. I mean, no offense. Until tonight, I haven't seen anything that's been really
Eye-catching.
Leaving Abby's ultimate dance experience behind. Those kids were on a whole other level, but on Dance Moms,
another
right.
level.
On Dance Moms, though, I mean, okay, it's studio kids, it's studio choreography, studio environment. So Allie was great. I think she was. We liked her a little bit more because she was a new face. Same thing with like Kaya and Nakaya, even though you were not a fan. We liked because it was different, and I know G was not a fan of that duo. It was new energy, but as far as her technicality and technique and etc. She was good.
Technical. Sorry, you talk because I apparently can't.
I thought she was a beautiful dancer. I technically she looks like she had it, and I thought she was a great addition. I thought maybe she was a little tall,
Very tall.
But she's got those dancer legs. The
yes,
proportions are
like
all
the
there.
lines and the legs
I
and
wonder
all
what
that.
happens
But
when these girls actually become women. Like, like they're so used
I know they have like the inverted boobs right now.
and now they're. I mean, what if Nia just blows up and like to like double D's or something? You
She
know.
could. She's
Great.
getting starting to get a little curvy.
Yeah.
She's got the attitude.
Yeah, but good.
Well, I was gonna say I thought that Allie, she's beautiful as a dancer. She has amazing technique. In terms of emotional expression, kind of a snooze fest. But what I think is so funny is that there is such a transformation between when she's just kind of being a little girl and then when she's on stage. Because she's got like this little bob thing and these braces, and she's kind of awkward when she talks. And then all of a sudden, you put the hair back, you put the makeup on, you give her this outfit, and she's just this,
That's how it
Disney
should be, though.
princess.
They're like mutants. I always say that people with talent are like mutants. You don't know what talent they have until they turn it on, and
Yeah.
they become Sasha Fierce, for instance. Beyonce, her onstage personality is Sasha
her
Fierce.
alter ego.
Yeah, I mean, and it makes sense though. Within any kind of artist, anyone that has that kind of has a performance element to their aura or their life, that they turn it on. And so I agree with you about Allie. I wish, and I say this every season, Giselle and Tony, that I wish these dancers would give us more intensity, though, that they would attack their movements, because we see a lot
real
of
intensity, not the number 10.
like we see a lot of this like soft and
But a lot of the
ballet.
numbers they were doing were lyrical, so it was meant to be soft.
But
and flowy.
in Los Angeles, though, I mean, we've all seen So You Think You Can Dance, and a lot of the shows.
Their lyricals don't make us cry.
Right, their lyricals. I mean, they're intense. Like a Mia
Like in a
Michaels
good way,
lyrical.
cry.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Mia Michaels lyrical. She's throwing people on each other, and there's so passionate. There's power.
And then you're watching and her jaw's dropping
Right.
and you have chills on your arms.
Yeah,
But hey, and So You Think You Can Dance, you're thinking you're using a different age bracket. Like those people are older. These are kids. We can't be tossing them around.
But someone tonight though challenges that theory that just because they're kids doesn't mean that they cannot kill it, as we see in one of the breakout stars
And
tonight.
as we saw on Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition,
sure.
there
Yeah.
were some
Hadley.
great numbers.
Yeah. Harlem.
And,
agree.
And then, just really, really quickly, what do we think about Kelly and the girls not coming back? I know you've got a lot to say about this, so let's talk to Tony
Go,
first.
Tony.
This is the thing, and I mean, are we at the part? Are we at that part yet in the show? Can I mention like the whole standoff? Are you ready?
Not
for
yet,
that?
not yet.
Okay.
Just
Are you
talk
ready for
about
that?
episode 1, how they
Okay.
didn't come back, they weren't there. We didn't even know Kelly was going to be featured in this next episode.
It is Kelly's decision. obviously last season when we left, she was so upset and so distraught. Oh my God, I can't take this anymore. Blah blah blah. That's her decision. Like if she chose not to have her kids back, that's her choice. I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, you made that choice. You're not bringing your kids back. If your kids want to be there, like Abby said, they could be there. Dad, I want to go. Mom's not going to take me. She doesn't want to deal with it. I want to go back to Abby. Her kids looked fine, as if, like, I'm cool.
Right.
You know? So, I mean,
I'll hang out with the girls on weekends.
Yeah.
When they're
I
not
mean,
in
it's their
competition.
decision. I mean, I think that there is a point where, you know, like we saw Brooke last season, who decided that she was going to take a break and maybe explore some other things. Maybe this is their break, and this is where you decide whether or not you ultimately want to do this. We all know Lil Maddie wants to do this. You know, she's a dancer forever. But Brooke and Paige, they may not
Dancer
want to do
forever.
that.
Dance forever. Yeah, and I agree, Tony. You hit the nail on the head that these kids. I mean, I was a victim to this. You know, push to do stuff, and you realize that you don't love doing it anymore. Once you take that break, it's like it gives you the chance to really sit down and be like, "Well, I'm over this." But I don't. Them not coming back. I was over that team. I mean, not and all the dance moms. I love you guys from last season. Nia, I mean Kelly, Holly. You guys are all amazing. However, I think ushering in new blood is good. I think that the things get stale. Things get stale, and you know, 2 seasons of this show is very formulaic. It's always pyramid, group dance. Abby shows the choreography through words, spoken word, and then we're at some random competition. I swear there is a competition going on right now somewhere.
Probably.
So then on to that, I got to ask you guys, episode 2, how much of this do you think was staged?
I think, oh my God, Giselle, I think for now the show's becoming bigger. And because when it first started, it was basically a tell-all peer into the studio that just so happened to be Cray. And now that it's become a brand, and we've expected
50
certain
Shades
things.
of Cray.
Right.
Yeah.
That dude, a whole continent of Cray. I think that a lot of the stage now. I think a lot of the things we saw tonight with Hadley and Yvette, really.
It's like,
Really?
okay, guys, get dressed. We're going to go in Hadley's room. You're going to come in, sit here. You know,
Hadley's hair is pressed.
we're going to have this conversation. I mean, it really looks like they were like,
Calling the police.
oh,
Too.
Let's talk about that.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, so
The
let's get into the as I like to call it, or as
Before
Abby
you
called
do
it. Oh,
that,
yes.
I looked it up. Canton, Ohio, to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is only in like 90 miles. It's like 2 hours.
See?
That's it.
That ain't far.
Still 2 hours.
Still,
That is commitment.
It's
is
those-
what
I know
it
it's
is.
dedication.
well, when you got issues, you competitive and you caddy, you can't let someone just step
Listen,
above you.
when you are a dance mom and you want the best for
Ain't
your
no mountain
child,
high
the
enough.
best.
Huh? Ain't no
And-
mountain high
and-
enough.
and money's not a
and-
limitation.
No, and Abby Lee Miller Dance Studio calls you, and you
You're
are
there.
2 hours away.
Oh, you
you drop
go.
everything.
I mean, no. If you're from Albuquerque, New Mexico, when Abby Lee Miller calls you to Pittsburgh,
you hop
are
on the
there.
next flight.
Amtrak. You can reach me by airplane. I don't care how you get here.
Planes.
Just get here.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah.
I mean,
You get there. You
done.
go.
Done. Boom. Tonight's
Okay,
episode, though.
tonight's episode.
Yeah.
So Abby calls it the sit-in,
I call it
the silent protest.
I call it the police debacle.
The police. I felt like it made no sense
At all.
None.
because it was almost kind of like you would have thought if you came into the show during that part that Abby kicked Kelly and her kids out.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're going to protest. Kelly chose to not come
leave.
back. And they're like, we're going to stand up for Kelly. And we're going to...
That feels like
Shelly,
something's missing.
it's like, Shelly, you know, you're sitting here, but Kelly's supposed to be there. No, Kelly is not supposed to be there because Kelly don't want to be there.
Right.
So you staging this whole silent treatment and stuff, it made no
No
sense.
sense.
This is what I love. Okay, so it's supposed to be pyramid, and the women, they walk in, they use the silent treatment, they don't say a single word to Abby, and then they walk out. Where were the girls?
Right.
Hello?
At school.
It's like, Abby, we're not going to... And then I love how in their car, What's-Her-Face has like a Sweet Tarts box, and she's like hiding. And then Holly looks like she's about to have a meltdown. She's like,
It's almost
Hey,
like...
she was sticking to character.
No.
God.
Holly looked like it was a surprise party. And she really wanted to tell Abby, it's a surprise party. And she's like, I can't tell.
She's like, no, mama, no, mama, I can't say anything. I can't. And then Christy just don't care. She's like,
I have 2 words for Christy.
And what are the 2
Shut up. Like, she is constantly stirring the pot. Oh, it like even in the season preview or whatever, it was always, yeah, go tell them how you feel. No, Christy, shut up. Shut up.
I loved how here's Melissa trying to be all part of the group. Melissa would never do that. Melissa's the one who is always, sticking her nose in Abby's,
Well, they did say last season that they may not get along, but together we're all moms together, and we have a common bond.
We're a dysfunctional family, but we're still family.
Whatever.
Well, right now, y'all are dysfunctional and not make any bit of a sense. Just like that sentence I just said.
Like, whether it was because that Kelly's daughters got replaced or because she was gone, it just didn't make any sense. Abby's running a business.
Right.
And she says all the time, everybody is replaceable.
And she made that.
She's proved it
obvious.
before.
And then the time lapse. I guess the sit-in started at about 10 a.m. because Abby finally comes outside at night.
At night.
And
and was like, I've been waiting for a while to do the pyramid. I'm like,
yo, really, Abby? I mean, is it all?
I feel like they were about to wrap and they realized, Abby, you haven't said anything about the sit-in.
Right.
So we need you to pretend like you've been waiting forever.
Or it was like, okay, storyboard change. They probably filmed 2 different alternate endings to it, and they decided, due to bad editing, to go with that one.
I also feel like Abby has been stuck inside this bubble for the last however many years that the seasons have been progressing through, and she's just been thinking, oh, we're the best and blah, blah, blah. And then she decides to do this spin-off, Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition. All of a sudden she realizes, wait a minute. There are kids that are my students' ages, that are so much better.
Right.
What am I doing?
Right. She's like, wait a minute. I have indisposable amounts of talent at my doorstep now.
That will beg
with a lot more money and a lot more talent and a lot more emotion that will be begging.
And the same amount of drama.
Well, I love how she whips out her bedazzled iPhone and is like calling people, oh, so-and-so from Hawaii's on her way.
Yeah.
First of all, now
back to business as usual.
Did you guys notice the time? It was 9:30 at night when she was making those phone calls. And people can just I can't hop on a plane and be anywhere the next day. If it's not down the street, I ain't coming.
Well, I mean...
Hey, again, if money is not a limitation, and also, she goes, what do we have to do to get her on my team? There was for sure money involved, and it's a reality show. I'm sure Lifetime was more than happy to pay the flights.
Let me tell you, those people were at the audition. They ain't fly them back home. They said, you sit over here in this hotel for a couple of days.
Right. It's all, I mean...
Your crew calls at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Right. And when they do reality shows, if you're a talent, they hold you because it's too much money to send people home. And reality is cheap to make. This show's not that expensive to make. So honestly, reality shows want to save a pretty penny. So you think it looks all amazing and wonderful. It's really not. It's very scaled down. But what we see on TV makes it seem like it's like the best thing since sliced bread.
I will say, I kind of feel bad for Shelly and Allie because the first episode we see Shelly and Allie come in, and the moms are not really accepting of Shelly like right off the bat because it's like Kelly should be here. Again, moms, Kelly doesn't want to be there, and I feel like Shelly is just kind of like, oh, there's nothing that I can do, nothing I can say. This is her business.
She's also the only mom who's ever come in there not assuming that her daughter's going to be the star.
Right.
She was more than happy
she was humble.
To let Abby put her daughter wherever. She even approached Abby about saying, you know what, maybe we shouldn't have this be a solo during the group dance.
Yeah.
I don't want to cause any drama or disturbance.
That's
she
Southern
was
hospitality.
so considerate, and no mom has ever been that way before. So they're always like, well, my daughter's going to be the star and my blah, blah, and I'm going to buy Abby this and da-da-da-da, like when Jill first came.
Right. Yeah. And it was all about seniority in the first episode. Like, why would Allie get Chloe's part when Chloe's been here since she was 2? Well, it's not about that.
Yeah.
It's about the dance and the concept. Chloe,
and it's about skill.
Yeah.
And hard work.
What are you gonna make Allie the lead of the demons and like have her come out first? Like she's the big demon, and then the little demons come out
the
to get
dwarf
the
demons.
What'd
makes
you
no
guys
sense.
think of Jill stopping by Candy Apples?
Jill, random.
What was the point
I don't know.
of that scene?
Okay, you have to teleport yourself to Jill's world because
Do I?
Yes, let's go there. We're in Jill's world.
Slater IQ.
In Jill's world,
Jill's world.
there is chaos at Abby Lee Miller, right? Kendall still needs to dance. The next best thing is always Candy Apples.
Right.
So that was her kind of checking in, like, "Hey, girl."
Keeping her
you
options
doing?
open. Keeping her options
Yeah.
open.
And then she's like, "Oh, you know what? You actually just reminded me why I don't want to be with your crazy self."
And your
And then
purse
she
is too
excuses
small.
herself.
All right. Well, let's talk about how everyone's replaceable.
And they
'Cause,
were.
What?
They were replaceable.
They were
They had people,
replaceable.
apparently
Every
people
single
flew overnight.
one of them.
Red eye.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Question: since when can the moms hear through the glass?
Right. Well, I mean.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, today I actually did.
Because
Oh yeah, because the new mom.
the new
was
moms
like,
were talking back and listening
Mhm.
and hearing Sophia's little squeaky voice, which we'll talk about in a minute. But
Mhm.
usually the moms are like, "What's Abby saying? What's going on? I can't hear anything. I have to go downstairs and figure out what's going on." Since when can the moms hear through the glass?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe that's a new thing. They want, Lifetime is wanting to up the ante and give us some more salacious drama. Or maybe they realize maybe they're realizing that the formula is kind of, not working, getting kind of old. So they got to add new elements, keep it fresh,
I guess. Okay, let's talk about some of this new
The
talent.
newness, the new talent, which they were pretty good.
We've
They were.
got Marsha and Bella, which Bella's my dog's name, so I just always had to laugh when she was calling her daughter Bella. But hey, if your name is Bella, if you have a daughter named Bella, that's a beautiful name.
Bella was
Kaylee and Gloria, Jackie and Sophia.
silent. Good. Her mom, too much.
Too much. It
All
was like
the
her
rolling
audition.
of the eyes and
all the moms were
it-
auditioning. Let's be real.
Yeah. She always had something to say, and I was like, oh my god, it's like they.
You need to relax and have a seat.
Have several
You
seats.
need to have several
Have
seats.
several
seats.
seats.
You need to drive yourself to the Pittsburgh Civic Center,
No,
walk
you,
in,
seriously.
and have yourself.
You need to
several
drive
seats.
yourself to where they make all those chairs that they have at like wedding receptions, and have them all,
Have them all.
every color,
Have them set them up for you,
and just sit down.
and
Go
just
to a
sit in every
Steelers
single
game.
one.
I mean, do some
Buy
sit
every single
choreography.
ticket.
Every single
Yeah.
and sit, show ass
And
down.
sit. Yeah.
And then we had the child prodigy, who I'm going to call Minnie Mouse.
Yes.
You know what, G? I'm gonna keep it real with you. Sophia was amazing,
She was.
amazing. Like
She needs to work on her face.
Maddie 9.0. Not even like Maddie 2.0, man. I mean, her again, intensity. Sophia and Abby said that when Sophia goes out on stage, she is going to dance like she hasn't danced, like it's the last dance of her life. And I saw it and was blown away. And I mean, she's a freak of nature.
She is. She dances wonderfully, beautifully, especially for that age. Face. Work on the face.
Did we think that it was unfair for Abby to call her the new Maddie?
It's Abby.
I mean, it's not
It's
that
Abby.
far-fetched.
Abby is going to. Abby says everything that you shouldn't say.
About
to
somebody.
kids.
I mean,
Yeah.
roadkill. Hello, Hadley, roadkill.
Yeah.
She's scarred for life.
Scar for life.
But do we think that it's right to call her that, or was Jackie right in saying that it's like talking about apples and oranges?
I think, well, you should never compare. I mean, comparisons people are always going to compare for a myriad of reasons. But I don't think Maddie is talented. By her comparing her to Maddie is kind of taking away Maddie's credibility as an amazing dancer. Maddie is a great dancer. Maddie's also the old school. Sophia is fresh. And I think Sophia is a totally different dancer than Maddie as far as just everything, her execution, her stage presence.
Body types.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, they're both great. But yeah, so you know what? In answer to your question, it is unfair that she did say that because she's taking away from a dancer who is brilliant in her own right.
But I also think it keeps us tuned in as the audience because there's a comparison.
Right.
There's Sophia, but she reminds us of Maddie, so we're okay with that. And then there was a part in the show where she was like, "There's my Brooke, there's my this, there's my that." Da-da-da.
It's a literal replacement.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, okay, I can stay connected to these people because they're just like, it's like, the SAT when they have those like, cereal is to bowl as potato is to
Right.
sack.
Analogies.
There we go.
There you go.
You said SAT. I was like, well, you took it back.
I did. Ooh, that was a long test.
Very 98.
Let's not reveal our ages. Okay, so the performance of a lifetime. Meanwhile, the original Abby Lee Dance Company is deciding to put together their own little showcase.
2 words. Hot mess.
No. 2 words. Volcanic mess.
It was literally like, who are they?
Right.
Like, without Abby, they
Who are
weren't
they?
that strong team that it was almost like they were like, we're going to go to the mall, and they know us. They know us at the mall, and we're going to have a performance, and we're just going to have fun.
No, Tony. It was almost like the booted members of Destiny's Child coming out with the trio and trying to do an album, and it having been
Right.
booty whacked.
Yeah.
And watching them, you could see that they were kind of a little rusty.
Mhm.
And the moms, the whole power of the moms, there's a power in numbers, and the whole power of the moms and the whole ambiance and the whole, I guess, feel of the moms has been diminished. They're weak now. You can see that they're not as strong, because even though they may hate Abby, they were still in that world. They were still shining. They were stars. It's just like have you guys ever seen that movie Heathers? Where okay, well, it's about a clique of girls all named Heather, and they're all powerful together because they're named Heather, but individually they're a hot mess.
Yeah.
Same thing with this group. Without Abby, without that anchor to make sure that they're shining.
I actually, to be totally honest with you, I didn't believe for 1 second that this is something that they pulled together in the last minute. I
No.
also didn't believe that Abby had nothing to do with it.
As far
Because
as
these girls have gone on mall tours throughout the last year.
Well,
I don't think this is something that they were just like, oh, let's go.
but I don't think Abby was involved in that.
they probably have their own
because-
contacts and
Maybe, but I just don't think that it's something that they were like, oh, well, let's just tell people on Twitter and see if they show up.
No.
Oh my gosh, nobody's here. Like, they wouldn't do that.
It
They-
was obviously, advertised because there were a lot of kids there. I will say this. I think the moms, with the popularity of Dance Moms, have now gone to a different level. And in the season preview before the first episode, you got that feeling, especially hearing about these mall tours and paying for
master classes and workshops.
Yeah. I feel like the moms are now taking this opportunity and trying to capitalize on it for themselves.
I mean, as I'm sure most people would want to do in that
But that takes
situation.
away from them being regular kids and attending class so that they can continue to be better dancers. Now they think they're superstars and that they don't have to do that. If you remember those performances in that episode,
they're okay.
they're okay.
Well, they
and
even
then the
said-
mall thing, ooh,
They even said people go to the competitions to see our group. They're expecting to see our girls. Okay.
yeah, the moms are given a different feel. Like, they're not moms. They're starting to
They're
be
stage moms now.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
just dance moms. They're stage
yeah.
moms.
They're booking tours and mall tours and master classes and appearances. Yeah,
Carpet floor performances.
yeah, yeah. I don't.
Those stages are scary
Rehearsals
and shaky.
rehearsals in living rooms now.
Well, if
I always
you're
rehearse in my living room.
in front of the mirror, in the
5,
bathroom,
6,
in the
7,
shower,
8.
whatever you want. Well, look, if you're watching right now, if you're listening right now, let us know what you're thinking of the Dance Moms this season, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're listening live in the chat room, or, if you're downloading our podcast, make sure that you subscribe to each forum, comment, like us, give us 5 stars on iTunes so that we can keep the lights on here, keep the shows, I want to say flowing, but I feel like flowing is a weird word.
Flowing's good.
Flowing,
It works.
Keep it flowing like wine,
Keep them on.
like a sweet, sweet wine.
Turn on the light.
And if you have a different opinion than us, we want to hear it.
Totally.
Absolutely. And make sure that you also stay tuned to AfterBuzz if you have any other shows that you love besides your favorite Dance Moms. I'm sure we have it. We have an incredible lineup continuing into the new year. I'm so glad to be back. Happy 2013. Let's talk about this thriving competition. Yvette and Hadley, they're back. It was a very awkward interaction, I must say, because seeing as how we did see a lot of sides of Yvette during Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition, we can tell, and especially after talking to her so many times, if you were tuning in with us during Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition, Yvette called in, quite a bit, and she told us when there were times where the scenes were suggested
Right. AKA
or
stage.
coincidental, and when it was candid, which is most of the time. But we know our girl well enough now to to where we get it. And by the way, if you're planning on calling in, Yvette or anybody else, we are in Studio B today, 424-256-1633. I don't remember if I said that or not, but 424-256-1633. So, Yvette, Hadley,
Oh, go ahead.
Thrive Company.
I don't know. I laughed when I saw Yvette because it's kind of like, really, you have found your way to stretch out those 15 minutes. She is on minute number 17 right now.
She's
and
going
good
for the full
her.
hour. I mean, yeah, I like them. I think they're
for her.
both.
Good for her.
And who's to say that she's the one stretching it out? Because they're in her hometown. They're going to a competition in her
So-
territory.
But does that mean that from now, because all the kids who were on Abby's ultimate dance competition, I almost said experience.
Experience.
Are we now gonna see tidbits of them?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean,
with-
it's branding. It broadens the story. It brings, because like I said, what we've been watching the last season is now becoming stale. It's like, okay,
It's a brand.
It's brand now.
It's an empire.
It's exactly. They're building on it. It's just like the Kardashians. You go from one Kardashian show to Kourtney and Kim take Miami, take New York, take Albuquerque. Build on it. And so to have these familiar faces, because Abby's Ultimate Dance Experience was a hit. It did really well. So it's familiarity. People want to see like Zach. You guys love Zach. Wouldn't it be cool to have
my
Zach?
favorite.
Zach come
That's
in.
coming in.
And Zach come in on Dance Moms, and it just makes sense to its other elements, to bring into the fold. The overall, it affects the bottom line. It helps with the brand. So yeah, I mean, and Yvette and Hadley, they were kind of breakout stars of the Dance Experience show.
Completely.
And Hadley, the only thing I didn't like about this episode was just their when you talk to your mom. My mom's a nurturing woman, but she ain't like, honey. She's like, what's your problem? Like, how you feel about this ish? Are you gonna do it? Okay, done. There's no like.
But the thing is though, is that not everybody necessarily watched Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition. So Yvette had to bring up conversation in a slightly
course.
awkward way to
Right.
be like, what about what she said to you hurt the
roadkill.
most in her own words?
3 words.
And
Get over it.
Say it again. What?
hey, what doesn't kill you makes you.
Well,
that's
by
not
now-
actually that's not what I wanted to say. What? Go ahead. I can't.
Bless your heart.
It's okay. We
Bless your heart.
got the gist, Giselle.
But it's like, really, we're still on
Use
the...
it as fuel, okay?
Right.
Use it as fuel. As dancers,
use
and,
it.
and being an actress, not me.
Yes.
I'm saying like as dancers, as actresses on
Yeah.
stage. You need to have those moments of pain, of love, of emotion, whatever it is.
To
You
draw
need
on.
to wrap it up, tie it with a bow, and then when it's time,
Unleash it.
Well,
Right.
in this case, they need to put it in a box, wrap it up in a bow, send it off somewhere else, and not worry about it.
I don't think so because she kicked ass at the competition.
Well, Hadley always kicks ass. Though.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
she did.
Well,
And-
when we get to that, I'll have my.
Hadley was good. I thought, Yvette showing. I think it fit having Yvette and Hadley because it's still fresh. Dance Experience ended a while ago, not that long ago. I mean, having them there, they're a relevant storyline that people, fans of this show watching, are glad to see her back. It's almost just like
Completely.
it's like, I don't know, coming back for blood. Hadley
Well,
and
we
Yvette.
saw Hadley and we saw Yvette as, this little dance mom-daughter duo. And Abby even mentioned she's the daughter of a dance mom, too. They have that little bonding point. But, Yvette was always talking about, I'm a director, I'm a director, I'm a teacher, I'm a teacher. So I think it's kind of a behind the scenes / where are they now that
Right.
they're able to cross
Sure.
into the empire of
Right.
Abby's
The
Ultimate
gates
Dance
of
Competition.
ADLC have opened up.
I love how Abby was like, "Did you work on those feet?" That made me.
We all
giggle.
remembered Hadley for her feet.
Yeah.
And she did work on those feet.
Good.
I like how Abby showed up to the competition. Let's go ahead and start talking about the competition, calling this Make It Count. Abby goes, every once in a while you have to put the trash out.
Oh yeah, because they were like, "Do you have a new team? I don't recognize these people." Well, every now and then you got to put the trash out. Oh.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Much?
I think that was more so directed to the moms.
The moms and the kids, for sure. For sure. I just want Abby's just so she's just so vicious.
She keeps it real.
I mean, and I like how she's like, I don't have any kids, I don't have a husband, this is my business. I'm like,
Oh, speaking of, nice intro to this mystery guy that apparently Abby and Kelly have been
Yes,
fighting
I'm
over,
so glad you brought that up.
and how he was like, Kelly who? And then Christy, of course, Christy.
Oh,
She's
Christy.
like, no, I know for sure. Like, they dated. I don't even know why he's coming here trying to act like he doesn't
She
know her.
told me.
I'm like, first off, who is this guy and why is it such a thing?
And I'm pretty sure, I don't know how to say this in a politically correct way,
You don't know if he like big girls.
or just women in general.
He might be suspect.
Oh, don't you put his business out there?
Well, I mean, whatever. It's reality TV. It's reality.
Well, he seemed like a fine gentleman.
Like a nice young man.
He took Abby out to dinner, and she was as giddy as a schoolgirl.
She was very giddy.
She was like, I'm about to go because I have dinner. And I'm like, all right, Abby, you better work. Get him.
I hope she worked.
Ew. I know, my eyes.
On that plate that she had.
Oh, she worked on that steak. She was like, garçon.
I bet Abby is a classy lady when she goes out with someone else.
She has two
salad.
servings in the beginning,
Salad with.
featuring
Y'all are awful.
JK Abby.
She has lost weight.
I think Abby's
I
pretty
love
cool.
Abby.
I love Abby. She's
I love
great.
her.
I love her when her hair is not all crunchy though. When it's nice and smooth.
I love her
Yeah.
when her hair is crunchy. I love her when she has lipstick on her teeth. I like her when she has claws. I like her when she's wearing too much
Smoky
jewelry.
eye.
I like it when she's in a big t-shirt or when she's,
I like her matching
looking like
watches.
a go-go dancer.
Charlie says like matching watches to match the shirt she's wearing. She had a blue one and a yellow one.
love
She's
her.
great.
She does have the watches.
She's good.
Yeah. Okay, so competition.
Mhm.
Allie and Sophia are up first with their solos. Of course, Yvette sits right behind Abby.
Yeah. It's like when it's almost like now I feel like instead of them bringing in Kathy and Candy Apples as the rival, like the team to beat, now it's going to be all of these competition kids from Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition.
Hey, if Yvette,
And they're all going to sit there, and then we're going to, are they going to beat them, and what's going to happen?
if everyone's replaceable, I think Yvette should replace Kathy.
For sure.
Pretty please.
Well,
Yvette
I
replace Kathy. Hadley replace, what's Kathy's daughter's name?
Vivi.
Vivi-Anne, please. Please.
I'm so glad Vivi in the last episode was like when Kathy was like, "Are you okay sitting out?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "That is probably the most grown-up decision you can make." There are people in life who are not meant to do things.
Is Vivi one of those people?
Vivi knows that she's not meant to do that.
Vivi is one of those people who should definitely have a seat when it comes to dance. Because bless her two left feet heart, she cannot get it together. Kathy,
she
I'm
knows.
sorry.
She doesn't try.
She knows. She sat there and she ate that Sunday ice cream and she was like, I'm cool with sitting down.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm good.
Good. I'm just fine, Mom.
Yeah.
And I like how, again, the editors, who are just genius, they have Yvette laughing and crying and at those like little interval times. Like, you don't know when she's crying. You don't know
Right.
when she's laughing, but of course they stick it in wherever they want.
Yvette said, I am here for my booking. I'm going to give you what you need.
Right. She's a pro.
She's a pro.
She's a pro.
She is a professional.
And that smile.
That
beautiful.
smile says a lot and it can also cut you.
It's true. I love me some Yvette. Okay, Forever and a Day, Allie's lyrical solo. What do we think?
I thought she danced beautifully.
They all dance beautifully.
I thought it
mean,
was beautiful.
more of the same. Next.
I thought it was a little snooze fest USA. Emotion
Okay.
was missing. That comes with maturity, but I thought she looked very beautiful physically and technically.
Yes.
And I also appreciated the tumbling
oh,
because
right.
she was talking, or Abby was talking about how she couldn't get down some aerial or some trick, and that she wanted her girls to be able to tumble, or maybe that was a different girl. Am I
The
going back
tumbling,
on
the
myself?
tumbling was nice. So for being a tall girl, she was very,
Yeah.
very she was really good at
very,
tumbling,
and she was even very graceful on that little back handspring thing that she did. Then we had More by Hadley, a contemporary piece.
Dope.
Yvette says that Hadley's been doing ballet classes like crazy. Wow, I am so sorry. I cannot speak today.
What is going on with you
I
today?
don't know. I'm just really excited to be back, apparently, and that I can't just formulate
Get it
sentences
together.
right away. I just want to let it all out.
Get your life.
I'm sitting down. Continue.
Yes, have a seat.
Thanks.
Hadley, there was a moment where she was slightly off. She's a little off.
Little
With
ice
the
on it,
music
right.
or with the?
With the music.
Okay.
She was slightly off. But
Okay.
performance-wise, I thought it was great. She gave face, she gave energy. I kind of felt like though there were times where it was a little sloppy.
It was kind of sloppy. It
Like
was, right.
she needed to pull
So-
it in just
right.
a little bit, but it was a great performance. She had great energy. Little off. Bring it together.
Right. It was like she's trying to give you too much, and it wasn't like
Yeah.
it was like it was making her rocky. You know, when sometimes less is more.
It can be the editing a little bit too, though. I think.
No, there's no editing coming in when you're dancing.
Sometimes the things that they pick out, though, they don't always necessarily like show the strengths.
No, they show pretty much the whole dance.
Well,
There's
I
no
don't think it
editing
was
in
her.
that.
I don't think it was her best. I wasn't a huge fan of the costume, but I definitely feel like she's improved
For sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
a lot. I think she's improved a lot. The feet, especially,
Mm-hmm.
which was always her weakness. And we have a caller. Hello, caller. You're calling an AFTERBUZZ TV Dance Moms. Who am I talking to?
This is Yvette.
There you
Yay!
go.
Just in time.
Hi, Yvette.
Hello, guys. How are you?
We're great.
Good.
How are you?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm
Happy-
fantastic. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for calling in. I know it's way past your bedtime, but you don't sleep. Sleep is for wimps.
That's right.
We were actually just talking about Hadley Solo,
Okay.
and we think that she
I
has
got-
improved so much since Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition.
Oh, good. Thank you. She's been working extra hard. Definitely taking ballet now 5 days a week instead of 3. So that's helped. She's in an extra stretch class. And she's definitely probably doubled her numbers of training hours in the studio. But it was different when we came back. She had reservations on if she was going to compete or not this year. So that kind of threw me for a different loop. I wasn't expecting that, but I didn't expect some of the things that she'd experienced on AUDC, anyway. But it's okay. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger. And so she got a dose of, something new when we were in LA. And that's fantastic. I
Right,
think it will, by all means, just make her super strong.
It's an evolution, without those experiences and without, when I was dancing and when I didn't live here and I would come out to Los Angeles, I was newly inspired because you get a new wind into you. You get new life, new creativity, new inspiration. So this works out. So yeah, and from tonight's show, I mean, I've always loved Hadley as a dancer. I've always thought she was great. She was absolutely off the hook tonight. Her energy, her performance was great, and you guys also looked very smashing in your living room. Hadley had a nice, pressed hair, and I was like, go ahead, Hadley.
Fresh tans.
Fresh, yeah, your tans were on point. On point, Yvette. I gotta give it to you.
I love it.
It was great. It was
Okay,
good.
that is hilarious.
Good stuff.
But we really did have 3 days to prepare for that, so, including costumes. So we pieced those costumes together very quick. We put the choreography together. Of course, they assigned us the music and stuff. I mean, but it was a blast. I will tell you that we were going there expecting Abby's real team.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it was until I got the actual program book and I was looking at who was, scheduled to do a solo at that competition, thinking that it was probably going to be Maddie or Chloe. So Hadley was actually mentally programming herself to compete against Maddie or Chloe. And lo and behold, we show up and I look at the program and who is it? Sophia Lucia, for goodness sakes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I will tell you, we thought Sophia was probably going to be at AUDC because doing our homework before we went to AUDC, Hadley and I mean, we had narrowed down who we thought probably were the top 12, dancers, 12 and under, that would be in California for the Ultimate Dance Competition. So when we got there and Sophia was not there and Autumn Miller was not there and we had, some of the kids that we thought would be at that competition, we were actually kind of surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So here we thought we would be competing against her in LA, and then lo and behold, we go to Fort Wayne's competition. We thought we would compete against Maddie or Chloe as a soloist, and who is it?
Sophia.
It's one that, as a judge, I say myself, Sophia's one of the top dancers, 12 and under dancers in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's amazing. So at the very end, I hope that you could see, I was thrilled I was thrilled that Abby got second place
Yeah.
to Sophia Lucida. We'll take that. We
Yeah.
will take that.
Yeah.
And when they showed me crying when I'm watching the routine, that was not watching Abby's, like, that was entertainment to me, for me this evening. That was funny.
Yeah.
That they showed me emotional. So I got a kick out of that part. But, hey, we'll take second to Sophia, and then winning first place as a team all together. I'm ecstatic. And now I'm ready to do it again. I want to go against Abby's real team.
Hadley, tell me,
Not her.
how did this
Yeah, I'm sorry.
opportunity even come to you? Were you calling Abby saying, I want to compete against your team? Were they calling you saying, you know what, we want to compete against you guys? Because they did come to Indiana. So how did this even happen? And now you're saying you only had a couple days to prepare?
Oh, well, we found out that there was a competition in Indiana, and we thought, you know what, Hadley, I can't let Hadley, I can't start 55 choreography pieces with the other, Molly Adams, my other partner and choreographer, and I thought, I can't start this season, and Hadley's on the fence whether she wants to compete or not. She competed 14 routines last year, and now she's saying she might want to do 2 or 3. No. So really, I was thinking there's a competition in Indiana. Then I found out that Ashley Miller was going to be there. I thought nothing better than to hit this head on.
Yeah.
You know, listen, I said, Hadley, she's not judging you. She's not going to say, she can't say one thing to you. And, you know, in the competition world that we're used to, the judges talk into a headset.
Right.
Right.
You know, no one says anything out loud in front of 400 people in the audience and,
Right.
you know, several cameras around you taping for national television. I said, come on, we need this. We're going to get your confidence back. We're going to get your passion back where it was,
belongs.
you know, before we left for California.
And
So-
if you're listening, what Yvette's talking about is that at competitions, the judges will talk into a microphone and they will tape directly onto a tape or a disc, and then that
Right.
will be shipped up, given to the dance teachers, and then they can listen to it with their groups in terms of critique when they want to improve, compete again. Because normally groups do not do a new routine every single competition. They're usually doing the same routine throughout the season and maybe adding in a few more or only competing a few routines at different competitions. But Abby's is a little different.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's how that came about. We found out she was going to be there. I thought, listen, we're going to hit this head on. And honestly, it has charged Hadley. It has fired her up.
Good.
And it's wonderful that we got to address it. I mean, I really didn't know that roadkill was going to be brought back up.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it did, because if it was inside and it was over with, forget it, move on. It's just words, you know. It was inflated anyway, but it was brought back up, and I didn't know that it had bothered her that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we've never really, I guess, taken a blow.
So are we not going to
I'm
see you
tougher.
again this season?
I'm sorry?
Are we not going to get to see you guys again this season?
Oh, I can't say that, but
Well,
I'll
that
just say this,
NDR.
like, Abby, I'm not done with you. Abby Lee Miller, like, we don't roll
I
like
love it.
that.
We don't roll like
you
that.
know,
Ha!
That's right. We don't. And here's the thing. I want to compete against your real team. Your 1-800 dream team or your cyber dream team, whatever you want to, you know, try to pull together. That's okay. But I want the real deal. I want Chloe and Maddie and.
You want the veterans.
That's right.
So
Absolutely.
we had a few of the choreographers and the judges from the dance competition last season on our show, which I'm sure you're familiar. I know you guys watched the episodes. And I've been hearing some rumors that some of the dancers were approached about possibly doing a reality show, specifically Asia. There were a couple other names thrown out there. Is there a chance that there might be a spinoff with your team?
I don't know. Here's what I say. You know, Abby, what do you say? She preaches to the choir all the time. Everyone's replaceable. Well, you know what, Abby Lee Miller? You're exactly right, and that includes you.
Whoa, whoa.
Hey!
Oh, she's calling you out. But you know what? Truer words have never been spoken.
Hey, I would watch that. I know you actually, Yvette was texting me and she was saying that she wasn't able to see our live feed on her computer. And one thing that we were talking about earlier, Yvette, is that I was like, you know what? If Dance Moms continues, I think Yvette needs to replace Kathy
Right.
and the Candy Apples.
Yes.
They need to be our other studio that
I
we're
would-
looking at. Or
I wouldn't
hey,
mind
you know
that.
what? I would love to have Dance Moms be at Thrive Company.
Kathy is a different kind of crazy.
Well, Yvette, I gotta let you go, but hopefully we'll get to talk to you again this season. Please give Hadley our hugs. We loved
will.
seeing both of you. We loved seeing Hadley improved. She
Yes.
rocked Criminal,
Thanks.
and congratulations on
Thank
doing
you.
so well in the
All
competition.
right,
She's
we
not
love you guys, and
roadkill.
we love
She's
this
not
show. I'm going to
roadkill.
watch it again tomorrow on YouTube, okay?
Thank you.
Bye. Good,
Thank you,
sweet
Yvette.
dreams.
well.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.
She's so sweet.
So sweet.
Okay, let's really quickly, we're running out of time here, talk about the rest of the competition. We had Sophia do her solo, which we all agreed was incredible.
Amazing.
I have to
Incroyable.
say, though, and fans, if you're listening on the Lifetime website every single week, if they get enough hashtag more dance moms on Twitter, they will unlock a exclusive unseen footage on the website. And this week they showed the full dance number from Sophia. And I have to say, I wasn't as impressed watching the full dance number as I was.
The edited version.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's always
So that's the only reason why I kept on saying things about, like, well, the edit.
Oh.
You know, because she looked so much more sharp and on point. But the producers finally did, or the editors finally did something right. They were actually showing the tricks.
Yeah.
You know, the Fuerte Alice Cones where she did the four corner spotting. That's
Yeah.
really hard.
Right.
She's really young. So I thought she looked great. And then we had the Thrive Company do the Criminal or the Criminal of the Heart. What do
Ooh,
we?
before
Criminal
you-
Love.
Before you go
Yes.
to that, quick mention about Kylie's mom
Oh yes.
trying to sneak in the solo.
What did we think about Kaylee's mom trying to sneak
Kaylee.
in the solo?
I mean, to go hard or go home, like I always say.
No, she went hard and
What?
she was about to go home.
She was like, you know what? Let me go above Abby's head and just go write my daughter in the solo. And I love how she did it all like sweet, like I
Abby didn't have enough time.
mean, but do what you gotta do.
And she got caught up and she almost got sent home. So sometimes you gotta, and she's
Fall
too,
back, right?
She's too new. You're too new to do something like that.
Why would you ever do that? She was about to put Abby's name on a solo that she didn't choreograph.
That she didn't choreograph, that was being worked on right then. Like that is a huge no-no.
Huge no-no.
Like
And then
big
her
NO.
friend throws her under the bus.
Throws
Oh,
her under
yeah.
the bus. Tears and all.
And then we saw lost friendship.
And then we see Louisiana Southern Belle needing her space. We're gonna go. We need our space.
Yeah.
She
That's
cracks finally.
No, that's how Southern, we excuse ourselves.
It's a storm's a brewing. Something wicked this way comes with that one.
Hey,
Oh,
she
yeah.
gave herself a seat. It's fine.
Yeah. She
Okay,
did.
Criminal of Love from Thrive. I have to say, I loved this.
It was good.
I told Yvette I think Hadley should do this number as a solo. Or I think, did I say that right? Did I put Yvette and Hadley in the right places? Okay, I think Hadley should do this number as a solo because I feel like this is totally her little badass, sexy attitude that is just inside waiting to come out. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yes.
Thoughts on that
was
and
good.
thoughts on Cry, comparing the two.
I honestly thought Cry should have won.
They like Tony, you had said, they look like they had been dancing together for a long time. Like
Yeah.
they were cohesive. They had
Yeah.
the same energy, same spirit amongst them. You can tell when a group's been dancing together. They're intrinsic. They feel each other, and that's what these. But I mean, that obviously these girls must be amazing because they got that together that quickly. So I
Yeah.
thought
Right.
Cry should have won because Criminal, more of the same. Very
Criminal was very
Very performance.
driven.
But it was a good performance.
Yeah,
They
it was
put on
great.
an
Yeah.
exciting performance. It was fun to
But
watch.
Again, little sloppy. Little
They're
sloppy.
all a little sloppy though.
But not Cry. I thought Cry was beautiful.
I thought Cry was beautiful.
They were together, especially for a group that they've only been together for a couple of days.
That's what's so impressive. I have to say that even though I didn't think it was perfect, which Abby even said, I thought it was better than the original.
Yeah.
Better than Abby's team together.
Yeah.
It was so refreshing to see these girls. They didn't really say what their ages were. I know that they were replacing Abby's regular group, but it was so refreshing to see a group that they're all on the same level.
Yeah.
You know, with Abby's, it's always someone's doing something over here and over there and over there, which is great. But it was great, seeing four girls
Dancing
on the
as one.
same count, dancing as one, turns all at the same time. Beautiful technique. I thought that was so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then in the results, Allie gets second in her division. Hadley gets second, but as Yvette said, she was really happy. But
Yeah.
no surprise, Sophia.
We'll take that.
Crazy.
We'll take that.
Minnie Mouse first, and then the group number. Abby gets second.
Yeah.
Thrive gets first, and Yvette laughs.
I love it.
Her Yvette
Yeah.
laugh.
I love how Abby always says those kids got robbed. They got robbed. I mean, no, obviously they didn't get robbed. Abby, that was just sometimes people are better than you.
Yeah.
I do kind of wish Abby would have came in, not so like we don't get second, blah blah blah. Like this team was just put together. It should have been at least for once I wanted to see Abby go, great job, but you guys have a lot of work to do.
Right.
Like this is the Abby Lee Miller Dance Company. This is a great start, but we're winners here. So.
What did you think of Yvette saying, I think we'd make a great team?
Who would?
I didn't think.
Who would make a great team?
It was Yvette.
Her and Abby?
It was Yvette being nice, just being herself.
Yeah.
Being Yvette.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal.
And Abby's like, you kind of scare me. But I like how she congratulated Hadley.
Yeah.
She wasn't, Abby can sometimes be a little bitter after competition, and she found that little bonding point of the whole dance moms daughters thing.
The softer side of Abby.
And that if you're not in it to win it, you're in the way, quoting Yvette.
Abby was fine. She was about to go to dinner with her boo from high school.
Who was questionable and suspect.
You never know. Okay, well, since Yvette was kind of our news and gossip, we don't really have a lot to say there. Other than that, you can now get an Abby Lee bobble hip doll on mylifetime.com. Right there, demonstration, perfect.
Abby was just in a friend of mine video, Shangela's video for Working Girl, and Abby.
So were we.
We totally were as dancers. Give me some, Tony. Pound it in.
Good for you guys.
Twinsies.
And Abby did the.
Yes, she did.
And it's not even like, honestly, there's a way to do it.
Can't
Like,
do
you
it.
can, like, actually, there's
I
different.
see you trying over there, Marissa.
Like,
I
it's
saw
like,
it.
No, it's just the hand on the hip and it's.
But that's like very Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? There's if
What
you,
have you done
I
for
wish
me
if you really
lately?
look.
But it's living on the dance floor. So let's get into predictions, you guys.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I predict that we are going to see more of Yvette. We're going to see a lot. We're going to see it's almost like new villains. We're going to see a lot of new elements. Now they have a new season, they bring in new people, and you're like, wow, this is a whole new element, this whole new, part of a show that's just blowing your mind. I think we're going to see that now with Dance Moms because, like I said earlier, it's a brand now. They have to expand. In order to keep us interested in watching, they have to build and make it interesting. And now they have new tools to work with. This Ultimate Dance Experience brought in new characters, new fresh new meat. And of new crazies. Why not bring them to the core of where it all started from? And it's just like Superman and General Zod and all his villains, Bring them in, let's have a party, let's do lunch and see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's do lunch and see what happens.
I think all the original moms are coming back. I think Kelly is going to come back either the next episode or maybe 2 episodes from now. That's a strong prediction. Like, I know.
I kind of want the new team to stay. But what's going to happen to these kids? They flew across the country.
I know.
Let
Well,
down.
they haven't been added to the cast on the website yet.
I think it's going to be a battle.
There could be. They could have like a dance-off.
Living on the dance
All new
floor.
auditions.
I'm going to go audition for the Abby Lee Miller Dance Company.
Well, that's another thing. Where are the boys? I thought for sure we were going to
There
have
was a
some-
boy in the shot where all the dancers were auditioning. There was a boy.
But what about Justice?
Justice is
Oh,
gone.
he's gone.
He's gone.
But weren't there rumors?
Well, it's only the second episode, G.
That's true. And and the rumor was that he wasn't at Candy Apples anymore. It wasn't
Justice
necessarily that he was at
could be
Abby's.
that wild card that comes in mid-season, like,
Well,
I definitely think we're going to see more of Yvette because she's like, I can't
course.
say anything. So
that
Yeah.
inclination, yeah.
indicate.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see Zach, of course. Kelly's going to beg on her knees to come back until
Not
she can.
beg. I don't think she's going to beg. I think it's going to be the kids who are going to come in and really want to do it.
I think she's going to give in and beg. So we'll see. Let us know what your predictions are. Leave a comment on YouTube, in the chat room, on Twitter, on iTunes. Thank you so much for joining us. Boys, tell us where we can find you.
Hey everyone, you can find me online at Twitter, at JJC Forever, and also on Facebook at Jason J. Carter.
And an all-new season
Of Grey's Anatomy starts on Thursday, and a new season of RuPaul's Drag Race premieres on January 28th. You can catch her on there as well.
And you can find me on Twitter at Lounging with Tony or on my website, loungingwithtony.com. And I'll also be one of the hosts for RuPaul's Drag Race Season 5 right here at AfterBuzz TV starting January 28th.
Hey, and I'm Giselle Ugarte. You can find me on Twitter at Giselle Ugarte, always live tweeting during the show, and sprintingandstilettos.com. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to be back, and we'll see you at the same time next week.
Deuces.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.